And several European countries are also imposing new restrictions to curb their own COVID-19 surge. The World Health Organization says Europe recorded more than 1.3 million new cases last week. That's the highest 7-day increase yet. Ian Pannell joins me live now from London with the latest on this. Ian, good morning. What kinds of new restrictions are being put in place and where are they happening?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much restrictions in almost every single country. Certainly here in Britain, Wales, which is obviously part of the United Kingdom, has gone into a full-scale lockdown, as has Ireland. We're seeing restrictions in France, in Spain, in Germany, and many other countries across Europe, as everyone's trying to get a grip on, is it the second wave? Is it an extension of the first wave? Well, certainly the WHO seems to think that Europe is now one of the key epicenters yet again of the virus, with infections and death rates going up. I think what we saw early on were rising infection rates, but everybody had this question, well, was it just younger people who were being infected? Would it then spread to older people? Would you see a rise in death rates? And we're now starting to see stories of ICU units filling up and the death rates rising. Russia, for example, just had its highest daily death rate throughout the entire pandemic, over 300 cases. So I think we're seeing this being repeated across a number of areas. And so there are increasing lockdowns. Pubs, restaurants, bars, gyms, etc. are being either closed down completely or having their working hours restricted. Here in Britain, people are being encouraged not to go to the office, but to try to work from home. Everyone is trying to fight to keep the economy bubbling along, even at a low tempo, while also trying to deal with a pandemic that just seems to certainly not be getting any better.
And Ian, I know there were protests overnight in Italy over some of these restrictions. What happened there?
Yeah, and Italy isn't the only country where we've seen protests. I think there is a general mood of rising anger, but in Italy in particular, we saw protests in Naples over the weekend and over the last 24 hours in Milan and also in Turin in the north of the country. That's where it was at its worst. Mainly young people coming out to protest. There, the bars are closing at 6 p.m., but these are people complaining about the increased restrictions, also the lack of compensation, some suggestion that organised crime is also involved in this, but we haven't certainly seen any evidence to substantiate that, but it wouldn't be entirely surprising. We know that many people are losing out economically, and of course that would inevitably include organised crime, but it just shows that Italy is a country that was being held up in Europe, that yes, it was hit badly in the first wave, but it really got a grip on the pandemic, that people were following the rules, people were doing the right thing, and it didn't look as bad as, say, Spain and France and here in Britain. And yet now what we're seeing is the case numbers there rising, increasing restrictions, and people are just fed up. People want to go back to life as normal. The pandemic isn't letting us. Diane?
No, it sure isn't. ABC's Ian Pannell in London for us. Ian, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.